Here's the fascinating story of how Kennedy's assassination, Lyndon B Johnson swearing in, all ties into Air Force One. It all begins in Kennedy's presidential term. Under him, presidential air travel entered the jet age. In October 1962, a modified long-range Boeing VC-137C Stratoliner, designated SAM 26000, was delivered and immediately became an important element of Kennedy's administrative brand. The SAM in SAM 26000 stood for Special Air Mission. This plane was given the call sign designation of Air Force One whenever the American president was on board. Kennedy had flown in on the same flight to Dallas on the fateful day of his assassination, November 22nd, 1963. Lyndon B Johnson, his vice president, was also in Dallas with him that day. Once Kennedy was shot around noon, the president and the vice president's cars immediately rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital. An hour later, Kennedy was declared dead at the hospital, and shortly thereafter, Johnson left for the airport Dallas Love Field. Here awaited him none other than SAM 26000. Johnson wanted to wait for Jacqueline Kennedy, but the former First Lady would not leave without her husband's body. Eventually, Kennedy's casket was brought onto the same plane, SAM 26000. From this presidential airplane, the new president, Johnson, telephoned Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, who incidentally was a brother of JFK. Robert advised Mr. Johnson that he should take the presidential oath of office before the plane left Dallas. The oath of office was administered in the stateroom aboard Air Force One while it was still on the ground. Apart from being the only time that the oath has been administered on a plane, it also remains the only time the oath was administered by a woman. This moment is captured in the iconic photograph where you can see Jacqueline Kennedy standing next to Lyndon B. Johnson. Jacqueline Kennedy is still wearing the clothes with her husband's blood on it. 9 minutes after the oath was sworn in, the plane departed for Washington, D.C., which means the plane took off and landed with Lyndon B. Johnson sworn in as president. But here's the catch. Even if the oath had been administered mid-air, the plane would still be designated Air Force One for its entire journey, because as soon as JFK was declared dead, Lyndon B. Johnson automatically became the next American president. The oath in that scenario was necessary only to allow the president to exercise the powers and duties of his newly acquired office. There is another somber, first of its kind event that happened in regards to this. On November 25th, 3 days after the assassination, a funeral procession carrying Kennedy to his final resting place at Arlington National Ceremony was conducted. Just before Jacqueline Kennedy lit the eternal flame, a contingent of 50 fighter aircrafts streaked across the sky. Of those, 30 were from the Air Force and 20 from the Navy. The 50 was supposed to represent all 50 states. Then, Air Force One followed these fighter planes, concluding the flyover as a mark of respect to Kennedy. The unique event which happened here was that usually fighter aircrafts do not escort the presidential aircraft over the United States. In this one instance, however, it did happen, and that was the first time that it ever happened. Coming back to SAM 26000, the presidential plane under JFK, it remained the primary means of transport for American presidents all the way till 1972. It was then replaced in President Nixon's second term by SAM 27000. However, SAM 26000 remained a backup plane till 1998. And that brings us to the end of this very short and special episode of Are You Quizzing Me? I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers and have a good day.